It's the final rapid game of the Leon Masters 2024. Vishy Anand takes on Jaime Santos Latasa. Vishy is leading the match right now with a score of 2-1, so a draw for him is perfectly fine to win his 10th Leon Masters title. That would be simply amazing. To win this title at the age of 54 is no joke here. Vishy takes his chair. So does Jaime Santos. He's one of the top Spanish grandmasters. Opens the game with e4. We have the Sicilian defense. Knight comes out to f3, knight c6, and Vishy goes for the Rosolimo, reminiscent of his 2012 World Championship match with Boris Gelfand. And here he castles. Knight comes out to e7, and now Black wants to go a6 so that after bishop c6 he can take back with the knight. Vishy plays his rook to e1, maybe creating a square for the bishop to go back. Pawn to b6. And now pawn to c3 is played. And here a6. And instead of going all the way back, Vishy plays bishop e2. This is useful sometimes because the bishop can come out on f3. Let's say, for example, d4 takes, knight takes, the bishop goes to f3, and this is the reason why perhaps bishop e2 is played, and Vishy pushes his pawn to d4. So quite a safe, sound opening here played by Anand. He pushes his pawn to c4, and the knight comes back, and he takes on c5. This will force the trade of queens, which is actually to Vishy's favor because a draw is okay for him. How is Jaime Santos going to create his chances without the queen? Well, first thing he does, he takes with the pawn. Although isolated, now he has the open file here. Knight comes out to c3. And now the bishop comes to b7. He just develops the bishop. And knight to a4. So keeping an eye not just on c5 but also on the b6 square. Jaime Santos plays his rook to c8. And you play bishop e3. So there's no time for knight to g4 to attack the bishop because the pawn is hanging. Black goes back, knight b8. And now the knight settles in on a good square right in the center of the board. He offers a trade of knights. And Vishy, is he going to take it? Well, I guess Vishy wanted to play bishop f3, but now he's taken it. Takes. And a very interesting decision. He wants to double on the d file, put pressure on d7. So the bishop comes to c6, and now the knight comes back to c3. Ooh, h5. I really like this move because he wants to expand on the king side with g5, g4 later on. Rook d1 played, and now f5 played. Whoa, he is going all out now. g5 next on the cards. f4, stopping the knight from jumping to e5 or g5 being played. And he plays his knight out to f6. Now angling for these squares. This is getting very sharp. You can see Vishy adjusting himself in the chair. He knows it's going to be a fight now. b3 played. And Jaime puts his king on f7. The bishop is played here because he realizes this is a good structure here for Anand. And knight g4 played, and Anand takes the knight. Well, this is giving black good chances. The h file is opened up now. Knight comes to e2. Is he going to double down the... Oh, he sacks a pawn. e5. What a move. Vishy takes here on e5. And g5. Look at these mobile pawns going all down the board. Knight comes in here. He wants to settle his knight on d5 so that the bishop is limited. Pawn push to f4. He has to move his bishop back. And now, do we double down the h file? Yes, he does. Rook comes to h6. This is getting very intense. Knight to d5. The knight comes into the center of the board. And he is attacking the bishop on e7. Doubles on the h file. Vishy takes the bishop. And now, don't take here because bishop takes c5 check. You have to take on h2. Threatening a mate in one. Do you go bishop c5, making a square for the king on f2? Oh, stunning move. Bishop h4. Now the bishop is hanging. Also, this is hanging. He takes the bishop. But now the king has an escape route. Knight to c6 taken. What a move. Now if check, king comes up. This is unbelievable. Bishop h4 came right out of the blue. g3 played here. And now Vishy moves his king to f1. Amazing chess there. And he pushes his pawn to f3. But this is not going to be enough, because now rook to d7 is coming in. If you take, by the way, then check. And this could get dangerous with the other rook moving in and the g-pawn. But if Vishy calculates this accurately, he's winning. He goes rook d7. King comes up. And how do you bring your other rook into the game? Well, Anand keeping his nerves here, so close to victory. He's moving his rook, just making sure that his calculations are accurate. Rook e7 check, king f5, rook to f7. Wow. If here he can just take this, goes king e4. And in fact, now rook e1 is just game over, because if king d3, there is rook f3 check, and Jaime Santos resigns. Vishy Anand has a smile on his face, becomes the Leon Masters champion for the 10th time. What a champion he is. Absolutely stunning. Beats Jaime Santos 3-1 in a tournament that had Arjun Erigaisi, Jaime Santos Latasa and Veselin Topalov. Vishy Anand still emerges victorious at the age of 54. Some people are just born champions, and Vishy Anand is one of them, the evergreen champion. Congratulated there by the organizers.